The Road Not Taken. By Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. The speaker starts by straightaway describing a fork in the road. This poem was written in 1916 when cars had not become the primary mode of transport. Thus, the road mentioned above was probably more of a path. Do not imagine it to be in any way close to the roads of today. The poet describes the road as yellow as the autumn season set in. Are the leaves changing colors? By diverged, the poet means split. There is a fork in the road. Fork means a road that is divided into two paths. And sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood. It seems that the speaker wants travelling on both roads at once. But since this is impossible to walk down two roads at once, he has no choice but to choose one of them. The speaker is sorry that he can't travel down both the roads. This suggests regret. Imagine that the speaker is standing at the fork, trying to choose which path to take. Because he is standing, we can say that he is traveling by foot. And look down once as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. The speaker now peers down one road, trying to see where it goes. However, he can only see up to where the road takes a bend. Around the bend, the undergrowth, small plants and grass block his view. Here, it is worth asking a question. Is the speaker at a fork on a road, or this just represents a fork in road of his life? He is trying to see into his future as far as he can, but he can't really predict the future, as can only see part of the path. Probably, he is trying to ascertain what surprise it could hold. Just like the poet wants to see what is the road that he is about to choose has. Similarly, here the poet also sees the path as his life, the journey that he is traveling to. But he can never see what are the obstacles that comes in our ways, in our lives. We have to face the consequences as we are born to survive and to fight around all the obstacles and hurdles that comes on our way. Then took the other as just as fair. After he has looked down the road for a long time, the speaker chooses to take the other path. The speaker describes this road to be just as fair, which means the road is just as nice as the other one. His choosing between two roads can be compared to choosing the path to our future. For example, what career choice to make between two or more possible choices. Each is different but potentially equally important and good, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Soon enough, the speaker seems unsure about his, as he now says that the path he gave up was probably better. As he is not sure, he feels it is only perhaps better. Then the speaker tells us why he thinks that the path is better. It seems as if it hasn't been walked upon much, was grassy and did not look worn. Wanted means here lacked. That means the road that he has taken was walked by very less of people. That's why the bushes and the grasses were all straight, which were not bent. Okay. Though as far as the passing there had warned them really about the same, the speaker really seems to be unable to make up his mind. He now changes his mind and admits that maybe they were equal after all. As for that, refers to the other path. The passing there refers to the people passing along the road, probably on foot, just as like a speaker, Robert Frost. The speaker says that the people passing on the road's other path may have worn it down just as much as the path he had taken. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Again, the speaker says that the paths are equal. But we have to find out something more about the setting. It is morning time. Hence, the speaker is probably among the first to travel on these paths on that day. The paths are covered with leaves, which haven't been turned black by steps crushing them. Oh, I kept the first for another day. The speaker seems to now regret his decision of choosing the other path. Is he now justifying his choice of path by saying he'll come back to the one he missed later? This is how people deal with difficult choices. They say, we can always come back and try the other option later. And oh, at the beginning and the exclamation mark at the end tells us that the speaker feels strongly about his choices. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. The speaker agrees that his hopes to come back and to try the other path may not be really practical. He says, how way leads on to way? How can one road lead to another and then another? Then one ends up very far from where you started. That is why he doesn't think he will ever be able to come back and take the other path. In any life's decision, we do justify our decision by thinking we can always come back. Try a different option later. But sometimes our decisions takes us to other decisions and yet still others. And it's important for us to retrace our steps and arrive back at the original decision. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Now we jumped forward in time. We don't know exactly when, but we know that it's ages and ages hence. So the speaker is probably talking of years, not months. The speaker says that he will still be telling about this decision many years later. He'll be telling it with a shy, though, which is interesting because shies can be happy, sad, or merely reflective, and we don't know what kind of shy this is. So we know that this choice is probably going to be important for the speaker's future, but he doesn't know as of now if he's going to be happy about it or not. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I. This line is a repetition of the first line of the poem, with the subtraction of the yellow word and the addition of the word I. This repetition helps us to bring the poem to a conclusion. It reminds us what's important in the poem. The concept of choosing between two different paths. The hesitation of and I and a dash makes the end interesting. This lets us know that whatever the speaker is about to say next is important. I took the one less traveled by. In this line, the speaker sums up his story and says that he took the road less traveled by. With the hesitation in the line before, this declaration could be either triumphant or regretful, which means either victory or losing. Also remember, it wasn't exactly clear that the road our speaker took was the one that was less traveled. He said at first that it looked less worn, but then that the two roads were actually about equally important. And that has made all the difference. At first glance, it seems that this line is a victory. The narrator took the path that no one else did, and that is what has made the difference in his life, that made him successful. But he doesn't say that it made him successful. An optimistic reader, a positive reader, would want to read the line positively, but it could be read either way. A difference could mean success or utter failure. Remember, the speaker is telling us about what he's going to say in the future. From where he is now, just looking down the path as far as he can see. He can't tell the future. He can't say if it leads him to good or bad. He just knows that his choice is important, that it will make all the difference in his life.